I was 12 years old the first time someone called me a nigger. It happened one autumn morning as I and my friends, four white boys and Marcus, a black kid who had just moved to an adjoining neighborhood, trekked through our predominantly white suburban community nestled in the Piedmont Plains of North Carolina. We walked the same route to school every morning, past colonial homes with brick facades, plush green manicured lawns tucked between sidewalks and country porches, and small dogs bravely yipping from bay windows. A small, nasally voice hurled the slur from behind a hedge of evergreen bushes as we crossed the trodden glass clearing adjacent to our school. I immediately knew it was Cameron. The air around 11-year-old Cameron was spoiled and self-obsessed, a characteristic that felt uncommon among the children in our subdivision. His signature tick was flipping his blonde frosted skater bangs over a head of brown hair, a peacock gesture that added some heft to his slight build. Sometimes his hot-headed ways caused him to spit fire that would eventually consume him in the backdraft. This was such a moment. The songs of the morning birds were interrupted as the N-word landed like a grenade in the middle of our unit. It had barely settled into the dirt beneath us when its heat singed the air between us. All black people are niggers. The last syllable bounced around the trees behind us until it was rushed away by the breeze. The unblinking eyes of my white friends all fell on me, their mouths agape. These were guys with whom I'd camped out, played basketball, traded baseball cards, and talked with endlessly about girls and professional wrestling. But they were not angry. They were not offended. They did not rush to my defense or to reassure me, as friends often do as a display of solidarity in moments like this. The only thing they had for me were slack-jawed expressions dotted with darting eyes that seemed to ask, "What's our black friend Teddy gonna do?" Standing there in my frail, prepubescent body, attempting to shoulder this new burden, I felt isolated and smothered, as if no one around could hear my muffled struggling. It was the first time I saddled the silent weight of being black in America. Then, in a flash of relief and with an oddly timed sense of joy, I remembered that I was not alone. The new kid, Marcus, in a single heartbeat, I turned to find him already moving toward Cameron's hiding place in the hedges with choppy strides that quickly extended into a sprint. My instincts took over and I launched with him. For some reason, it suddenly felt important to me that the two black people within earshot acted together, in solidarity. Even though Marcus and I were only newly acquainted, in the face of racial hatred, we found common cause and unified action. Running with him, my heart racing and my breath short and shallow between long strides, I still remember feeling strong, vibrant, affirmed. 30 years later, on a crisp October morning in 2017, I slide into a beige and burnt orange subway seat rattling along the blue path of Washington, D.C.'s color-coded Metro line, deep in thought. If 12-year-old Teddy stepped into that train and eyed his older version of himself, he would have sneaked a steady stream of glances in search of something that felt familiar, trying to decide if he liked the man he had become. He would have recognized the puffs of skin around the eyes that his mother's family passed down like recipes and old wives' tales. The prominent nose from his father's lineage, born in a place where haints lurk in the crossings of darkened country fields. And his pigeon-toed mien that made his feet look as if they were continuously leaning in to whisper to each other, whether seated or in motion. He would have noted the gold on the left hand and smiled to know that he would one day have a girl and find love. He never would have predicted the titles commander and doctor now preceding his last name. The receding hairline where there were once waves he brushed into an uncooperative hair laden with pink lotion and pomade. Or that he had traveled the world in suits and uniforms from Johannesburg to Japan, war zones to the White House. He definitely would have sensed the same melancholic insecurity that often grasps his adult pinky finger and tags along on all of his life's pursuits, little and large. And he would have noted that the burden he felt that one morning with Marcus and Cameron had doubled and transformed. The weight of race had evolved into a responsibility to America and to the dignity of its black citizens. Had I caught his glance, perhaps I would have smiled, or simply looked away. I was distracted. I had a speech to give.